Today on Marvel Movie News, we're going to break down the Avengers Endgame trailer. What does that title mean? What are the little Easter eggs that are hiding in there? Plus, we've got information on Venom, Doctor Strange, what happens with the Netflix series going forward, and how long will it be before Disney can do anything with them? Plus, should you see Once Upon a Deadpool? We'll discuss that and more on today's Marvel Movie News.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk, we talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's Marvel Movie News.
Oh, good afternoon to you, our merry Marvelites.
Woo!
How are you feeling?
Okay. Yeah.
You're keeping it together, Amy?
I'm trying to keep it as together as possible.
I mean, look, sometimes you're just dust in the wind, and there's
That one still hurts.
I'm sorry. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We are the Marvel Movie News, coming to you live from inside the Soul Stone. Because we're going to be talking about the Avengers Endgame trailer today. If you're not already, you can subscribe to us on iTunes at Marvel Movie News. You can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/Popcorn Talk Network. Follow us on Twitter at Marvel News PTN or at the Popcorn Talk. There's so many places that you can keep up with us.
I know.
If you retweet the link to the show, you can get and you tag at the Popcorn Talk, you can get Aunt Manthony in the booth, who can't talk today because his throat got dusted.
I know, it's pretty.
I'm just gonna keep making dust jokes today. Settle in. Or if you tag Marvel News PTN, you can get that sweet retreat from the Starjammer and Colt Badeau. Thank you, Colt Badeau. I'm Zach Wilson. Amy Cassandra Martinez here, as always.
Yes. And we have to start off first with a little special shout out to Motorola, who is a daddy.
Congratulations.
Yeah, yay.
A new child for you to indoctrinate into the cult that is Marvel fandom.
Isn't it beautiful, though?
It's wonderful. Please do that.
I'm so excited. Congrats to you guys.
Oh, and thank you so much to everyone who's joining us today. This is a great show. As we were teasing up top, like, we got a lot to talk about with the Avengers trailer that came out less than 12 hours after we hosted last week's show. So frustrating. But we're going to talk about Once Upon a Deadpool, which I got a chance to see last night. We're going to talk about the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer that is not online, but they showed at a Comic-Con in Brazil. So we got some details on the movie based on that. Doctor Strange, Venom 2, Dark Phoenix had some updates. The Punisher... We got some Punisher stuff. Stick around for that. But let's get started with our lead story.
Yes.
That Endgame trailer. I got to watch it again. I've already watched it like 30 times.
I was going to say.
But I want to watch it again with you guys, because it's always more fun to watch with you guys.
Yeah, it's an
and
experience
with you, Amy.
Together.
So, here we go. Aunt Anthony, roll that tape.
Oh, it still hurts. Okay.
I love this, and like I couldn't help but looking at this, like all the circuitry, and like, oh, the nanotech is like, there wasn't enough left, so it can only form half a helmet.
Yep.
Hey, Miss Potts.
Such a nerd.
If
Oh.
you find this recording, don't feel better at this.
And then you've got the Benatar floating through space.
The record being adrift in space with zero promise of rescue is more fun than it sounds.
And it's just, I have so many questions as to, so this seems to be probably very soon after the events of Infinity War, and there's a lot of debate about how much of a time jump we're going to get.
Yeah.
And this sort of, who knows? It's hard to say.
Well, I hate seeing Tony like this because it just hurts my soul.
It was interesting. I was reading some comparisons online, like between Tony Stark in Iron Man and Tony Stark here, and like the difference between the narcissist. Oh, they dusted the logo.
Oh, I know.
Scarecrow Thanos, straight out of the comic books.
Hello.
Yep. Still on his hand, which we'll talk about a little bit.
Yeah.
Once we're not dealing with images all over the place.
Oh, and then you can see Shuri on the
Yeah,
side.
very briefly.
And then,
With Bruce, and it's the people missing. Sad Thor.
oh my gosh, that really surprised me.
Sad Thor.
Sad Thor, yeah. I mean, I feel like
Ronan.
Yeah.
And we'll talk more about this in a minute.
I also like how separated they are from each other because it feels like Agent Carter.
I like that we're getting a tour of the characters in this trailer.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what I'm going to do.
Without...
Because I don't know what I'm going to do.
That's such a Captain America line. And then my favorite moment in this trailer... Hold on, we're just going to watch this. I gotta hear it. And then the trailer, the logo's fine. Great. Get it out of there because...
Yeah.
Hi, is anyone home? This is Scott Lang.
Yes, it is.
We met
Oh
a
my
few years ago
gosh.
at the airport in Germany.
I love how I'm sure we all had the same face on when we were watching this part. We're exactly like Cap.
Can you buzz me in?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I don't think we all had the same face because there's
Really?
nobody who had as wide a grin as I did seeing Ant-Man pop up there at the end.
But I was just like, what? How? I do have to say, so I mean, you guys know that I do trailer reaction videos, so I of course did one to this trailer. And I was looking for it, and I didn't know the title of the movie, and I saw that it was Endgame, and I was like, what? Spoiler! And so when I finally saw it, I was like, oh my god, okay, so what does this mean? And I was trying to like process the title while watching the trailer. And I mean, it didn't take away from it at all.
Yeah.
I know. So everyone on Twitter was also like, Steve Rogers is crying. Our Cap is crying. And I was like, what? What? Ah. But yeah.
Let's talk about the title because that was the first thing that I saw too. I think the first, because like on the West Coast, whenever there's a trailer drop like this, I'm always asleep when it happens.
Oh, same.
The first thing I saw was I picked up my phone. I saw an Instagram post from Kevin Smith with the poster, and it was just like Endgame. Okay. What do you think of that title?
I think it's good. I think we were trying to, we've been trying to figure it out for a while now. I know a lot of people are talking about how Endgame is it has to do with chess. I'm not a big chess player, but it basically means that you sacrifice some of your players.
Well, the
others.
end game is basically when you're down to like the final stages of the game. So at that point, yes, there are usually pieces that have been sacrificed, but it's that you're like, okay, there's only a few moves left before checkmate.
Yeah.
That's the end game, and the word end game, as they teased, has been said in the movies before multiple times.
Yeah.
It was most notably when Doctor Strange said it in the last one. We're in the end game now.
Yeah.
But Tony Stark actually said it in Age of Ultron, which I think was really cool. And there is a conspiracy theory in me. As soon as they announced this, I'm like, that's not the title. We heard all those rumors that Disney's trying something new with this trailer. There's gonna be something crazy. And somebody had after I had been thinking about this for a while, and I saw some people on Twitter also like having the same thought. The trailer was a trailer. Nothing really crazy in it.
Okay.
Unless it's a trailer that lies about the title of the movie they're putting out.
Well, see, I thought the thing that they were trying that was different was that you literally saw no action at all. It's no one's moving that quickly, even.
I mean, it's a teaser. That's not too unusual. But I mean, I guess
We don't know. Like, besides the fact that it's obviously a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie, like, duh, we're gonna be watching it. But, like, if people don't know anything about it, you're just kind of like, okay, like, that was nothing.
Yeah, because they've already sold $1 billion worth of tickets. Like that, you could put out nothing but a black screen and trailers, and you'd sell enough tickets. But that would, to me, they were so worried about spoilers. Endgame, we talked about this last week. Endgame feels not spoilery, except that like it's the end of like a big thing.
Yeah,
but we
know.
It's not that it doesn't fit, but it feels like there's something. It feels like they were overblowing the spoiler nature of the title for it to be Endgame.
Okay, so you're thinking Endgame is not the title. I think Endgame is the title.
A more logical conclusion.
So we want to know from you guys in the chat, and of course, if you're watching this later, let us know in the comments down below. what do you think the title is? Do you really think it is Endgame or do you not? Zayas Bilu's like, no, I'm pretty sure it's the title.
Look, let me have my theories, you guys. It's more fun if there's a conspiracy.
Sure. Yeah.
But let's break down the trailer
Let's do it.
while you guys like tell me how dumb that theory is.
No.
But yeah, so Mantha, if you want to bring up, so I literally grabbed stills just like in order in the trailer that I want to talk about because like we had Tony Stark like adrift in space in the like on the Benatar. I can go to the next one. I like that he's in the Guardian ship. It makes sense because it would have been the only like flyable craft there. I'm so curious about the circumstances though, because so left on that planet, you had just Tony and Nebula. Was that really it?
Yeah.
So like that's its own interesting thing. Like Tony in space.
Yeah, and the thing is that like he's already. It feels like he's been there for a little bit longer than maybe we think, just because he's already gotten to that point. Like obviously he's seen half the people, there. I would say even more there. In Titan disappear, get dusted. So like he's already in an emotional space that's like, whoa, you're kind of traumatized, but he's also out of like everything. And he says that there's like enough food or something for like not that much
They're
longer.
out of food. They have enough air for 4 more days.
4 more days. Yeah.
But they're already out of food and water. So him and Nebula are just sort of floating through space. I don't know.
Waiting to die.
Yeah, waiting to die. I guess I assume that on Titan there just wasn't much fuel. They just had to go with what they had.
Yeah, no target.
And I guess like Nebula probably left the spacecraft that she like crashed in.
Well, because we see her walking.
Yeah, she's I believe she's on board. I had to pull an image of the logo being dusted because it's so funny.
That
it was a beautiful effect. But yeah, it was just like it's like, oh, we're gonna punch you right in the heart.
Again, even at the end of Infinity War.
Yeah.
They did the same thing, and we're like, whoa, that was way too soon. So now it's funny.
Thanos the Scarecrow, right out of Infinity Gauntlet.
I love that.
Really poignant imagery here because it's like he really did hang it up. Like he completed his mission. What else has he got to do?
I feel like he's in the space of like, cool, just snapped and half the people, all living creatures are gone, including animals, guys. I just want that to sink in. And I feel like he's not going to be like, cool, now I'm done. Now what? I think there's going to be more of a threat.
I actually disagree. I think what this is, and you can go to the next photo as we talk about this.
His lovely crops.
I think this is Thanos's endgame in his mind. Like he's done. Then I rest was his words.
Yeah, but is he really?
I think he doesn't need to do anything else. Like if we look at that image of his hand, like he's not in his armor, but he's still got the gauntlet on. Mm-hmm. I think it's fused to his hand.
Really?
Because remember it crumpled at the end of the last one? I think he is forever, like, I think the gauntlet is trapped on his hand. And I think he's just like walking that planet like he's just living a farmer's life.
Maybe the gauntlet is kind of like the ring in Lord of the Rings. And also, like in Harry Potter, you know how they have
the Horcrux?
So it's like the longer he keeps it on, maybe
the crazier he gets.
Yep, you heard it here first. You're welcome. Let's bring all these fandoms together.
That's a cool theory. I think he honestly is taking a break, and it's going to be until the Avengers bring the battle back to him through whatever means they're going through. Because like the ways that I see out of this is either them taking the gauntlet back and undoing with a second snap, or breaking the Soul Stone open.
Can they do that? Can they undo the snap with another snap?
I mean, in theory, it's the once you have all the stones, like you can control reality and bend it to your will. So in theory, like, and if our theory is correct, and all of the people who got dusted are not dead but are trapped inside the Soul Stone, then it would just be breaking it or using it to send them back to the universe.
Yeah. I like that. Then.
So that'll be interesting. I love that we have built it off. And then Sad Steve. It's the next photo that I have.
Stop. Okay, and he shaved his beard. As far as we know, unless this is time traveling.
I love how many people are upset by him shaving his beard. I get it. Beards are wonderful.
They're great, yeah. But like, what does this mean? Is this a time traveling situation here?
No, I think he was just like, he's not on the run anymore. He's back in the light.
He has time to like, I'm sad, I'm gonna shave now.
Yeah, or he feels like he has to be brave and forward facing. Like he grew the beard when he was in his more like nomad like days, because he's not Captain America. He's back in like he's in the background hiding, so he doesn't need to be presentable. But I think now that I assume he's back at the compound, so I have to think that after these events, the Sokovia Accords are just like, ignore that. We don't have time for that. We got way bigger problems.
Well, and also, like, we honestly don't know what lies ahead for him. So this could be his last film, and to kind of see him look as Captain America-y as possible, just to end it, I like that.
Yeah. The Hulk is Bruce Banner he's gonna be messed up by this, because if you talk about blaming yourself, imagine like he's like, if only the Hulk had shown up, if only I could get the Hulk out, maybe he could have stopped Thanos.
I know, that
and he's
hurts me
he's
so
just like
much.
staring at these people that are missing, which it's really quick, but Shuri is in this photo, as well as Scott and Peter. They know that Scott and Peter, it's interesting because Shuri we didn't see dusted, and the Russo brothers, minor like interview type spoilers, had said at one point that she was not dusted. So it's possible that she's just in hiding.
Yeah.
TBD. But they don't. But the Avengers don't have whereabouts on Shuri.
Well, and I mean, down there they don't know, like in Earth, they don't know where Peter is exactly. That's why he's missing. So obviously, dusted.
I feel like maybe Tony would have radioed back that Spidey was on the ship. But either way, he's missing, and like I have to think that if Aunt May is around, she's just chalking it up to him being dusted.
Sorry, I have to cut in because Ink and TV says something, brought up a very, very good point. Steve's beard got dusted after the snap, according to internet memes.
I mean, that'll save you money on razors.
That's funny.
So.
I like that. Yeah, I think it's interesting because we didn't see a lot of, these smaller characters, quotation marks, get dusted or not get dusted. So we don't know where everyone is. Yeah. There's so many people.
It's true. Thor is just looking super pensive because like he should have gone for the head. Gone for the head, Thor. And then this next photo, if we bring it up, this is one that people have been debating about because it's Nebula's hand.
Yeah.
Touching someone's shoulder, but there's been debate about who it is. I assume it's Tony Stark. I don't know how it could be anybody else. They're on a ship together. In theory, Nebula's going to meet up with everyone at some point when they like eventually get to wherever they're going. And people are like, "Oh, but look at that face. It looks like pretty clean shaven. It must be Cap." I'm like, Tony Stark's fairly clean shaven in the earlier scenes in the trailer. So I think it's Tony. I think this is them like maybe right after launch, or it's just, I think it's Tony.
What if this person's not alive? Like, not that they got dusted, obviously, because they wouldn't be there. But like, what if they're dead and she's just like, bye?
I think the head seems pretty upright.
No, but like,
I guess it's space.
You like die, like, I don't know. I just made that
way
darker
to be
than
morbid,
it needed to be.
Amy.
I don't know.
Jeez.
But we don't
speaking
know
of
anything.
darkness, let's talk about Ronan.
Ooh.
We got our first look at Clint after all of this, and you get to see that classic, that comic book Ronan look in that behind shot, and then sad boy undercut Clint.
Yeah.
Okay, if you watched The Leftovers, you'll understand this reference. This is my first. He got totally Nora Dursted. I think his whole family got dusted.
Oh yeah.
Both kids, his wife, and
Yeah.
and I guess it's 3 kids because I think his wife was the last time we saw her was pregnant. So he lost 4 people at once. You definitely saw it all go down.
I mean, look at his eyes, just like he's in so much pain.
Yeah, and then I brought up if you go to the next slide, Anthony, this is Ronin from the comic books, by the way. So you see the sword. I'll be really interested to see if they give him nunchucks in the MCU.
You know, that would be interesting.
Give me some nunchaku Hawkeye. I know he's Ronin now. It's easier to just call him Hawkeye.
Those quads, good for him.
Yeah. But then we cut to a shot of my girl Peggy.
Oh my god.
And Cap's still carrying that around. But this is the interesting speculation because there's so many rumors about time travel. We talked about Kang, and I don't think Kang's going to pop up in this movie, not realistically. But there's a time stone in play. If they get a hold of it and go and do some time travel nonsense, like if this is your cap to 10 years of movie making, doing some kind of time travel tour through that as a plot device is a really tempting thing to do. Would you want to see that? Would you want to see time travel brought in, knowing how messy and like, but if you time travel then you broke like the time stream, like knowing how all that gets kind of complicated, would you want to see it?
Heck yes, because I love these two together, and if he can see her again, I would like that.
I don't mean just Peggy.
Well, I don't
Any
care.
Peggy you can give me, any Haley Atwell you want to give me on screen, I'm all about it.
Yeah.
But I just mean, do you want to see time travel used as a plot device?
Sure, why not? There are so many stones. I think we should play around with them all. Yeah.
The thing that makes me nervous about the time travel thing is it, like I said, it gets messy because if you go back and you change something, then it's like, okay, well, how much did that ripple effect? But like changing that could be the thing that like sets up and triggers a mutant situation or a Fantastic Four situation and gives you an easy way to like bring those characters in without too much retconning or anything like that.
Yeah, you know, I feel like if anyone's gonna do a good job, if, you know, they do incorporate the whole time travel aspect, then yeah, I feel like they can. The Russo brothers would really just knock it out of the park, and I'm not worried.
Yeah.
So I feel like it'd be good.
It would be a way to defeat Thanos, is to literally go back in time and change the events. And it undoes all the dusting. We'll just have to see.
Yeah.
One theory that I saw is that the Avengers have not told the world what happened, so the world doesn't know about Thanos.
I mean,
which would be interesting.
Yeah. I don't know.
You're hesitant about that, as in terms of, are you hesitant because you don't think the Avengers would lie, or
it kind of reminds me of Harry Potter. And then it's like, you know, they kind of like, they can't tell them everything. So I feel like obviously people have been dusted, so they've got to know that something's up. So I just don't know how much they shared. And like, you know, if there is a president in this universe, did he get dusted? What about the vice president?
Who knows? 50%. It's not like the leftovers where 2% went away. 50% of the population. So
yeah,
it'd have to be chaos. But the question is, at that point, is it helpful to tell the world what happened, or is it not? And that's gonna, I guess, the debate in the Avengers' minds is at this point is it worth telling them? I don't know, chat. What do you think?
I'm like, well, what the heck would they tell him? So sorry, stuff happened. Long story short, half of the living population's gone. Like, I mean, what the options are? Tell them exactly about Thanos, or just be like, stuff happened. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how that's all handled. The politics of that is like part of why I love The Leftovers is the exploration of what do the small people do after something like this, like the scientists that are trying to investigate it, the politicians. So in my mind, maybe I'll go watch The Leftovers as like inside the MCU.
Yeah.
It's just the super depressing part of the Marvel universe. Boy.
Charles Lee in the chat says the Secretary of State would notify people since he's connected to the Avengers.
If he even knows.
If he's not dusted.
One, if Ross isn't dusted, but also Ross knows that the Avengers were probably involved, but he wouldn't have been privy necessarily to the details. Yeah. Because all of that went down to Wakanda.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to wait and see how that all goes.
I want to go back to Wakanda too.
So let us know, guys, in the comments or in the chat. Like, did you like this trailer? Or is it more? Are you more excited? Less excited? Just as excited? Amy, are you more excited now with this than you were before?
I mean, if I could possibly be more excited, like I am.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing. Is it's like my excitement level was already through the roof, so it's pretty hard to raise it up. But this trailer, it looks good, and so
did it raise it up then?
It's probably at the same level that it was, but only because like we got so few things, and then like Scott Lang coming at the end. So that's the thing, is I didn't know what Scott was gonna do, but when Scott Lang pops up at the end of this trailer, pizza chef. It was like, I love that Scott maintains his sense of humor. And so now let's talk about your theory. Or the theory that you heard.
Yes, a lot of people on my trailer reaction video were saying that they think that that's not Scott. They think that he's a Skrull.
To what end, I guess, is my question.
Well, and you know what's funny enough, though, is that some people have been saying the same thing in our chat right now. So I don't know. I think maybe they're just worried that that's not him, especially because of what's going to happen in Captain Marvel. We don't know.
Now that we have Skrulls on planet, like it is always going to be a question of who we're talking of, like, is that person that person? I don't think he's a Skrull, mainly because I think that the use of the quantum realm as a means of one, like potential time travel and to get to Thanos, I think the quantum realm and knowledge of it is going to be vastly more important to saving the day, and a Skrull version of Scott Lang would not have that knowledge.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. A Skrull can take on all of a person's character traits and everything, but do they take memories? Actually, I think they might. Now I'm trying to remember all the storylines, and like, do they get your memories?
Well, here's something trippier. Some people in the chat have been saying that there's like an archived like word, that it says archived somewhere in the top left. Yeah, it's on the screen. It says top left. It says archived. So I don't see anything. That's a lamp. Do you guys see? What does that say? What does that say?
It says
Strat. Oh, archive.
But they very specifically say that it's not an archive.
I know, but what if that's the thing, that they're like hardcore lying to our faces?
I mean, that's the other thing, is that you got to take all of this trailer with a grain of salt, because the Russos love to fuck with people. Oh, it does say archive. You guys are right. That does say archive.
But maybe
interesting.
Maybe it's like they're making us think that is an archive, but then they're like, no, it's not. But what if, like, you know what I mean? What if they're just a whole bunch of steps ahead of us?
Yeah.
Which I really don't know what that means.
That's a good catch, you guys. I didn't see that one.
And I've never heard of that until our chat right now. Thanks, guys. You're the best. No, I don't know what this means, though.
Yeah.
Why would they say that?
Oh, no. Something that we've always seen is trailers using two scenes and stitching them together to misdirect you.
Well, heck, Scream with Drew Barrymore, they made it sound like she was going to be the main character of Scream, and then they killed her. Spoiler alert. Sorry, guys, if you haven't seen it by now. But within, the first, 10 minutes? So maybe.
Yeah.
This could all be fake. This I think is what we're trying to come down to. Like, we don't know how much of this is real. We don't know how much of this is actually going to happen. in the film or not.
Yeah.
So that's terrifying. Yay!
I'm really excited for this movie. I mean, I don't think he's a Skrull, but only time will tell. We'll have to wait till we see Captain Marvel in March, and then Infinity War Part. I'm sorry, it's Endgame. I have to stop calling it Infinity War Part 2. Avengers Endgame in April of 2019.
Let me double check.
Coming right up.
It's 133 days, 10 hours, 22 minutes, 20 seconds. I have a countdown.
19 seconds.
19.
All right, guys, before we dive into the rest of the show, I want to take a moment and thank our sponsors for today's episodes. Hit that air horn. Air horn for the sponsor. Yeah, I gave Anthony no warning for that. Our sponsor, we are sponsored today by the fabulous Loot Crate. Loot Crate has all kinds of wonderful things that you can get. You get all your nerd stuff in a single box delivered right to your door. You can get up to over a $45 value in each crate, and it's less than $20 a month. You can get cool Marvel stuff in there. I've seen amazing Star Wars things in there. Harry Potter stuff. If there's a nerd thing that you love, you can find it in a Loot Crate. And the best part is, you get it all sent to you. You don't have to go to the store. You don't have to go out and try to find those couple of nerd stores or like wait for ThinkGeek to ship it to you. No, it's all in Loot Crate, and they just send it right to your door as a subscription model, $20 a month, and you keep getting more fun stuff to cover your desk with. Like we cover our desk in toys. I know I have a bunch of stuff from Loot Crate that's like scattered around my apartment. I have one that's like a measuring cup that has Ant-Man to Giant Man that I use literally every day.
See, I guess you guys saw Koi's last episode with us. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff, and I still have that box because it's so pretty. Like the way that it comes in, it's just gorgeous. It's almost, I would say, nice house decor. Does that make sense? Yes, because it says Marvel, and it's just so gorgeous. And of course, I'm going to be wearing something that we got from that tonight when I see Into the Spider-Verse. I'm so excited.
Nice. Yes, Loot Crate offers 16 awesome crates from gaming to anime, Marvel, DC. You can get all this. You can get it specialized to what you love. So so check it out. Subscribe now. Get yourself an early birthday present, early Christmas present, if you will, or a late Hanukkah present. That works too. It was a few days ago, so it's too late to get that for your little nieces and nephews. But
Kwanzaa.
There's still time.
I don't know when Kwanzaa is, but you can celebrate.
However you want to celebrate, buy yourself a New Year's present. Just buy yourself a happy Thor's Day gift.
Yes.
In order to cake. And you can get ahead of time. You can get it. Make sure that you get it before it sells out. Subscribe now by going to lootcrate.com/Marvel Movie News.
That's us.
And you can enter the code Marvel Movie News. I know that might be hard to remember. It's not on the screens behind me. It's not on the logo of the podcast you're listening to. And it's not me just saying, go to lootcrate.com/Marvel Movie News, subscribe, and use the code Marvel Movie News. You've never heard of those words before. They've never been said in that order. Marvel Movie News. And you can get 30% off your subscription.
Oh, wow.
30%. That's a good deal. Good deal. So go there now. LootCrate.com/Marvel Movie News. Use the code Marvel Movie News. I know it's complicated, but just stick with me because that's how you get your 30% discount on all your nerdiest toys, shirts, everything you can imagine. It's all just waiting to be delivered right to your door. Thank you, Loot Crate, for helping us keep the lights on in this studio, helping us keep flush in little toys like
Yeah.
This did not come from Loot Crate, but I have this giant lockjaw on the desk for some reason.
People love
because more nerd toys, the better. All right, so let's keep going through today's news because there is a bunch to talk about. I want to talk about Once Upon a Deadpool real quick.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, Amy, you didn't have a chance to see it because it just came out last night.
Yeah.
Which is totally reasonable. I ran out to see it because I wanted to make sure that I could at least give you guys recommendations as you go into the weekend, whether you should see it or not. If you've seen Deadpool 2, it's Deadpool 2 with no blood, slightly shorter, and it's got the Fred Savage bumpers, which are really funny.
Yeah.
They are. Whether you need to see this in theaters or not, I have AMC A-list, or
Same.
if you have like Movie Pass, if that still works, I don't even know.
I don't know.
But if you have like a subscription thing, I think it's a great way to spend an afternoon. If you have like kids in the like 12 to 17 range that like you didn't want to go, that were like, I should keep them from seeing Deadpool because it's too far, go see it. Take them to that. It's not that clean.
What do you mean?
It's
so
okay. they got it under the R rating. They even go through some of the like, here's what you have to do to get an R rating, to get a PG-13 rating instead of an R. As jokes, because it's Deadpool, so he's breaking the fourth wall in every moment. But like, and they use some of that very creatively, especially with the stuff with Fred Savage. It's fun, but you could see it on cable. It's nice that some of the profits are going to charity, so that's one reason to go out and see it. But in terms of just purely like, do you want to spend your $15 on this? Not really. If you've seen Deadpool, if you can watch it at home, check it out. There is my personal take on it. But it is fun if you're just looking for something to see at a theater.
Yeah, well, my friend, she saw it, and she said that she actually liked it more than Deadpool 2. And she has an 8-year-old daughter, and I asked her, well, would you take your daughter to see this one? And she's like, well, no. So that's what you're saying, 12 to 17, maybe. But if you're older than that, you want to watch it, why not?
There's still plenty of violence. Like, it's still Deadpool. It's just the blood is off screen and stuff like that. So, like, you still don't want to take little kids to see it. And they do play with strong language and like
play with strong language.
Like,
how?
I don't want to. So that's some of the jokes are how they like play with like what they can say and what they can't say. So I don't want to ruin those for you.
Well, that sounds enjoyable.
It's like I said, it's fun. It's just not take multiple people out for $15 a ticket to go see a movie you've already seen. Necessarily fun.
Yeah, I mean,
you can, because you'll see it on basic cable. This will be the version that airs on basic cable. And for that, it's great. It's way better than just like cleaning up dialogue and putting something on TNT.
Yeah.
You can now show this version on airplanes or wherever.
What's nice is like you can go watch it if you want, but if not, you still have Marvel stuff that you can watch. You know?
And you can still go see Into the Spider-Verse this weekend. I have to work till 11:30 tonight, and there's no actual midnight screening, so I'm going to wait till the weekend. No. Thanks a lot, AMC planning committees. There is a really nice thing at the end, after the credits, after all the just wait until the end if you do go see it in theaters. There's some Stan Lee stuff that will make you cry.
Wow.
It's really nice. It's really simple, but they showed some outtakes from his Deadpool 2 stuff.
Well, it's worth going to see it just for that.
I mean, again, like it'll be just as effective on the small screen. That's my thing. Like if you're weighing spending the money or not, you can skip this one on the big screen. But I do say check it out.
Yeah.
Go see Spider-Verse again this weekend. Speaking of Spider-Man, let's talk about Spider-Man Far From Home. So we're not going to give you all the details, but they did show a trailer at Brazil Comic-Con that there's a rumor it's going to come out next week. Rumor. Like for everyone to watch, but they showed it off at Brazil, and it gave us some plot details about Spider-Man Far From Home. Apparently commented nothing about Infinity War, just ignored it entirely, which is an interesting tactic, which I think you just kind of have to do. Because otherwise you just spoil it. Like, we all know Spider-Man's coming back.
Yeah.
No one's under any illusion that he's dead. But rather than, like, address it, they just ignore it.
Okay. I respect that.
Yeah. So the details that we did get, and so like if you don't want these spoilers, you want to wait for the trailer or for the movie, I'm warning you now. Hit that little like skip 30 seconds ahead button, or cover your ears.
Wait. That's kind of scared me.
But so Peter is going on a field trip, a like school trip to Europe with Ned and MJ. And he leaves the Spider-Man costume at home. Intentionally does not take it with him. But once he's over there, Nick Fury gets to him and he's like, I need your help, kid. I don't know if he says that. That's all like,
okay.
But like Nick Fury does find him. And then there's apparently a sequence with Jake Gyllenhaal's Mysterio, helmet off, fighting alongside Spider-Man, trying to take down Hydro Man, who no one knew was going to be in this movie until this came out.
Oh my god.
Hydro Man being like, he's sort of like, in terms of power set, like think of the Sandman, but it's water.
Yeah.
So Mysterio, the rumor is, based off this, is that Mysterio is an agent of some kind. Like he's not just a special effects guru. He's like actually somebody who like is working maybe with Nick Fury and Maria Hill, who are both in this movie. So there's some cool stuff coming from Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yeah.
I'm excited about this. Of course, the Mysterio and him fighting Hydro Man could all be illusion that Mysterio is putting on him. Nothing is what it seems. It's all Mysterio lying to you.
We don't... Oh, gosh. I feel like there's something beautiful about being a Marvel fan, but also something that, like, you have to have a lot of strength, you know? Because we go through a lot, guys. Like, we don't know if this is all real, if this, like, will happen, if it's not. Like, we don't know anything.
I just love I was able to say all of those sequence of words like Hydro Man and Mysterio and Nick Fury and like all this stuff, and it made total sense to the people that are listening to this podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for listening. But yeah, those are the details that we've got. Are you excited for like the inclusion of like Hydro Man and a potential Spider-Man Mysterio team up?
Yeah. I'm curious to see the trailer. Like,
yeah.
I'm not sure if, like, what people are saying is true. Like, okay, so they saw the trailer. What you just told us, is that true?
Yeah,
true?
That's like journalists that were in the room are
So,
like
it's
this
true,
is
true.
what I saw. This is what we're reporting that we saw. So they're probably going to clean up the trailer. It won't be 100% what we saw, but it'll be mostly what they showed there. I think partially they do this as a tester of like, okay, what do people react to? What should we enhance? What should we take back? And then they'll put that trailer up, presumably next week.
The 18th is what people are saying in the chat.
Although it seems crazy that it's not being put with Spider-Verse this weekend.
I mean, we don't know.
They could surprise drop it. It just seems the time, unless you don't want to throw people off. Maybe it's at the end of Spider-Verse, like the way they showed the Spider-Verse scene at the end of Venom.
Yeah.
That could be a new thing that Sony's trying to do with all their stuff. They're like, here's the next one. Watch our stuff. Please see our Spider-Man movies that don't have Spider-Man.
I don't know. Yeah. I'm game for whatever they give us. I just kind of want the trailer now. Right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get on it, Sony.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Doctor Strange 2.
So we can lift this color away. So you guys are safe. Yay, thumbs up.
Doctor Strange 2 has confirmed its director and maybe its release date.
Yeah, I know. So this was just released, obviously, this week. This is all according to the Hollywood Reporter. The script is supposed to be written next year, which is just like 19 days away. And the plan is to begin production in spring of 2020, which would then kind of lead it to a May, possibly 2021 release, which would be pretty exciting. We will, of course, see Benedict Cumberbatch, Benedict Wong as well. I just realized those are both Benedicts.
Yep.
I just realized that. Wow.
And his name is Wong. And he plays Wong. It's wonderful.
This is all so trippy. Yeah. Also, we are not super sure if Rachel McAdams will come back, but she is likely to return, which I
hope so.
Like. Yeah.
She didn't get enough time to shine in Doctor Strange.
Right.
And Rachel McAdams is a phenomenal actress, so I would love to see what else she could do with more of an arc, like more to do in that role. But also, like, I want her to not just be the thing is that character is sort of just there as like a love interest necessarily. It'll depend on what plot line they want to do.
Yeah, and so apparently the search for a writer to write the script is about to get underway.
Got it.
So whatever that means, because that might mean that Scott Derrickson doesn't co-write it.
Yeah, so
with
Scott
his
Derrickson,
writing.
I don't think we actually said his name. Scott Derrickson is
Scott Derrickson.
back to direct. The same director as the first one will be back. And I think he earned that.
for sure.
I had issues with the first one. It's like on the
What?
lower tier of my Marvel rankings.
What?
The thing is, like, all the Marvel movies are pretty high in like general rankings, but in terms of like where it falls in my list, Doctor Strange is pretty low. I felt like the plot didn't. The effects are amazing. The way but like, it didn't do everything it needed to in terms of it was a little too world collapsing and not enough character based. Like Cassilius's motivation was very weird for me. So those are the things that I think they can clear up. I'm hoping for that this is Baron Mordo. The no more magic idea that they tease at the end of the first one. That's what I want to see in this one. Did you have any plots in mind that you wanted to see, or you're just excited to see more of it?
You know, the thing about Marvel's that I can count on them to always like either make me really happy or like, you know, feel a lot of really intense feelings. Thank you, Infinity War. So I'm game. Like, I'm literally just in it for the ride, and I know that it's gonna toy with my emotions, but I love that because that's why I love Marvel, and I love that like we get to bring all kinds of characters. So I really like. I just want it to be good, which I know it will be. I would like a little bit more Rachel McAdams in there.
I don't know that I necessarily need more of her.
I would,
but like I like her as an actress, and if they're my point is if they're gonna use her effectively,
For
whereas
sure.
she wasn't in this first one.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think Baron Mordo is the right villain for this because I love the idea of a magic user trying to use magic to get rid of magic. It's the like moral and ethical questions that are going on there. That's the type of small scale story. Like, it's still big. There's still obviously large consequences, but it's much more character based as opposed to there's a cross-dimensional space being who's going to like destroy the entire world and is offering something to Cassilius to motivate him to do that. It was a little muddled, but Baron Mordo has a clear motivation, and that's what I'm hoping that they see. If I could recommend a writer for this project, I think some of you listeners may know him, may be familiar with his work. His name is Matt Key. I think if you're looking for a
Sounds
writer
familiar.
who knows Doctor Strange pretty well, you can find him on Twitter at the Matt Key. I think I think he'd be open for it. I think he'd drop what he's doing. He's a busy guy, but I think you could get him.
Okay,
Disney,
so
I think you could get him.
We should start a hashtag, guys. What would we like it to
Key
be?
for Strange. Matt Key
Okay.
confirms. Matt Key confirms he's available for Doctor Strange. Anyway.
You said it. Yeah, I mean, we really don't know.
I don't think he'd contradict me. Speaking of sequels,
Yes.
Venom 2 was confirmed by the writer of the first Venom, Jeff Pinker, who apparently is at this point not going to be involved, according to him.
Interesting.
Sounds like this comment reads sort of bitter, like on the page, where when he's asked, if he was asked about the sequel, and he's like, "It's definitely happening," which is the first official confirmation that we've gotten.
Yeah.
But it made $800 million at the global box office. Sony's doing a sequel, and they also set up a sequel. They already cast Woody Harrelson in a 4-second role.
The gorgeous wig that I know everyone loves. It's fun.
Yeah, we've talked about it before. I hope the sequels are rated. I think they should be, but they'll probably keep it at PG-13, especially Once Upon a Deadpool is doing pretty well. In previews, it pulled in $900,000.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
For a movie that is already out. You can buy it on Blu-ray for like $10. But and then Amy, you were the one that found this quote about whether Tom Holland could show up.
Yeah.
Pinker replied, "Without revealing anything I'm not allowed to reveal, it's not impossible that in a future / upcoming Venom movie, Spider-Man will play a significant role."
I love it because when someone says something like that, people are like, he's gonna be in it. Oh my gosh, we don't know.
Basically,
But
what that
maybe.
says to me is like, because I wasn't a huge fan of the Venom movie, but
What? It was fun. I love the song, the MMN song called Venom, which you've obviously heard us, sing here.
I'll rap that.
Jammed out.
No, I won't. No, I mean, the movie is just like, it didn't do any of what I wanted a Venom movie to be based on what I connect to about that character. They keep calling it a rom-com. It wasn't. If they'd done the rom-com, I would have been there.
Whoa.
I would have been all about that romantic comedy version of Venom any day, but that's not what they gave us. I think what they're saying with this quote, what the implication is here is, if you look at that movie, it doesn't do anything that would necessarily step on MCU continuity. They kept it contained enough that you could say that happened in the MCU and move on from there.
Yeah.
That's part of why I think they kept everything inside of San Francisco, which the only thing we've done in San Francisco is Ant-Man and the Wasp. Or I guess both Ant-Man movies were in San Francisco, but nothing crazy happened there that would prevent Venom from being retconned into the MCU. It would be pretty clean if they wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, I did really like Venom. I am curious to see exactly if they're gonna change things. Obviously, if we're gonna have a different director or a different writer, some things might change, but I don't know. I feel like it's going to be interesting because it did do so well, and I think it surprised a lot of people to see what liberties they do take. Like if they want to veer off a little bit, but obviously not into the MCU.
Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what they do with Carnage in the sequel, since that's what they're doing.
Or change that wig. I don't know.
I mean, with more screen time, they'll spend more money on the wig.
CGI wig.
Real quick, this is just an update on X-Men Dark Phoenix. Simon Kinberg, the director, was talking about why it got pushed, because it got pushed like an entire year. And the basic update, whether you take this at face value or not, he said it's not. There were rumors that it was because Sophie Turner was busy with Game of Thrones, or because Disney got bought, and that was causing them to make major changes to the script and all kinds of. We said the only reason it got delayed was effects. The effects were taking longer than they anticipated, and it's not a thing where like, oh, well, it's going to take an extra 2 months, and then you just push back 2 months. You push back 2 months, and now you're up against something in release dates that you don't want to be up against, or it's just a bad time of year. There's all kinds of reasons. So it became a thing where, according to him, Fox, I guess now Disney, sees it as enough of a summer tentpole that they want it as a summer movie. So we wanted to keep it as summer, so they pushed it back an entire year, and giving them plenty of time to work on effects.
Here's the thing, I think most of us, talking about this, or most of us listening to this, we're not in that space, you know what I mean? Like, we're hearing all of these things of like, oh, well, this is why. And I think it's easy for people to be like, oh, just get it together. And I get it, but I also want it to be good. So if this means they're gonna push it again, that it's most definitely not coming out when we were first told, duh. But I just want it to be good, and I understand effects take a while. I get it. Maybe, bring in some more people so that it can get done. But whatever, that's show business. That happens.
Yeah, I still have my own reservations about this movie. It has nothing to do with the effects or the release date. It's more just like, all right, let's finish up these Fox X-Men movies so that we can get some mutants into the MCU.
Yeah.
Because I've heard some amazing pitches that totally changed my perspective on mutants in the MCU. Because I originally wanted them to be separated, and somebody gave me a pitch that was so great and such an interesting take on the real world affected through this stuff that it was just like, yeah, make that. I want to see that.
Someone do you?
It was Hector Navarro at Geek and Sundry and I were talking about. Hector's been on this program a couple times in the past. And the idea that you could use because the big question is oh, but there's people with powers all over the place. Why would people hate on mutants? Well, people in the real world hate on groups that are totally the same as people that you respect all the time. It's very real for that hypocrisy, especially today, is incredibly real. So to use mutants to talk about that and the like, well, why do you like Captain America but not Beast? Like, what's your problem with just they both have powers.
Yeah.
Why are they different to you? And forcing people to deal with that and put that dilemma on screen could be a really interesting take. And I gotta give all credit to Hector on that because that was not my idea, but it's a perfect way to overcome that or use that issue and make it the forefront. All right, we're running long. Let's move into Marvel TV time.
Woohoo!
Marvel movie news.
Air guitar.
Oh, that's right.
We're talking TV time.
I almost dropped my guitar, guys. It's okay.
I love if you watch me do air guitar, it's so obvious how much I don't play guitar.
At least your strumming's right. I was just like, I kept going. I'm like, that's not right at all.
The big story, well, there's two big stories. So the interesting one that I want to start with is there's an update on the Netflix situation with the canceled Daredevil, Iron Fist, and Luke Cage series that apparently, according to the contracts that Disney signed with Netflix, they are not allowed to use those characters at all. Whether it's you can not like this doesn't even talk about whether they're rebooting or starting with a new actor or anything. They are not allowed to use those characters in a film or TV series until 2020.
Yeah.
So, and like there are some rumors that like Netflix could even like do things to like push that back even further, but there's no reason for them to do that. This sort of puts I guess. Here's the thing, 2020, at this point, like if they were going to try to, it's only like a year of pre-production and then a year of production and then it's out. So you weren't going to get it before that anyway.
Yeah.
But it does sort of put a damper on those. Oh, it's just going to jump over to Hulu. It's going to jump over. And Disney can always buy Netflix out on these kinds of things. But we're probably just not going to see these characters for a couple years at the very least.
But we still have Daredevil on, like, we still have these.
Oh, yeah, they're
shows
still
on
there.
Netflix,
Netflix is going to have
great.
those in perpetuity.
Yeah, because when I first read this, I was like, wait, why? Because obviously, like, that's heartbreaking. I don't like that. I feel like we were all doing such a great job moving forward, like all of us, right? Because we all had something to do with it, which we did because we were watching it. I just feel like we were at such a great momentum, especially with, you know, the redemption, I would say, of Iron Fist in the second season. And with, season 3 of Daredevil was so freaking good that I was really bummed because it's like, why would you take something away right when it was like, you know? And to really know that we won't have anything anytime soon is hard. But at least we have them right now on Netflix. And like you say, it does take time to make these things. So 2020 will be right around the corner.
I had a thought that like could be a really cool way for them to utilize these characters and maybe even keep the actors around. Because it's tough to do a new series with the original series on another platform and things like that. But I was thinking that maybe this is a way that maybe they start using Disney Plus to launch some like basically a big screen version of Marvel 2-in-1s, which like you do like you have like the things like, oh, it's The Thing and Mr. Fantastic, and it's like, or you have Captain America and Iron Man, like as the titles of those books, like all of those like 2 character led like miniseries. You could do like Spider-Man and Daredevil, and you do like you get, because it's the Marvel, it's the cinematic team heading up Disney Plus, you can bring in some of those big screen characters for these like little things like they're doing Loki and Scarlet Witch and the Vision, and then pair them up with like one of these things. Like you could do a Nick Fury and Luke Cage series, like just because, but you just call it Nick Fury and Luke Cage 4-part miniseries and you just get it done. Or it's a 2-hour made for streaming movie kind of thing.
I'm just really curious, like, what does this really mean for the future of these characters? Like, you know, like I said, we had just such a great momentum that, like, what the heck is this gonna do?
I mean, it's a damper. Like, look, this is sometimes the business gets in the way of creative.
I don't like that. Yeah.
Well, it's what you got. So the truth is, like, because especially with this, we're probably not going to see any kind of momentum or movement on any production on any of these Netflix series except for the 2 that are in production until at least this contract expires in 2020. So you probably won't hear about anything. I'm sure that Kevin Feige and Disney are like swirling with ideas of what to do.
Yeah.
But they can't move on any of them for a few years.
Well, see, as worried as I am about, keeping all of the excitement there, whenever we do get something, obviously we'll just like rush to it. So it'll be fine. It's just kind of like, selfishly speaking, we just want more stuff now that's good already,
Well, you've still got season 3 of Jessica Jones coming, but before that, you've got season 2 of The Punisher, and we got a little teaser of that. I don't know if you guys caught this. It just came out. Netflix put out a little teaser trailer of all of their shows coming in January. And we didn't know The Punisher's release date yet, and we still sort of don't. But at the end of this trailer where it's like, oh, you got Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt season whatever, part 2, and you've got this show coming, Lemony Snicket's coming, like all this stuff. And then at the end, it's like, oh, that's everything? That's everything that's coming. And then Anthony hit it with that trailer. This is what we saw at the end. It's like, oh, trailer's done. Y'all can go home, close your browser windows, move forward.
Whoa,
Oh no.
What's that?
What's going on?
What?
Guns. Something intense. Car. Van. Punisher.
Bam.
And that's it. That's all you get.
I love
But
that.
it's enough. So, Punisher coming in January, and then you had a picture posted by John Bernthal, which just like a little. It looks like he took a picture of a screen because you can see the little lines.
Oh yeah.
But he's got the full skull regalia going, and he's just punishering it in there. Punishering it.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
But yeah, so I'm curious if you guys in the chat are excited. If you're looking forward to season 2. Season 1 was a very good, very dark show. I'll be interested to see what they do with the second season, and it'll come. I'll bet you they're going to drop it at random. I bet you we won't know until it's out.
Ooh, like they'll do a Beyonce thing.
They've tried to do that with season 1. If you remember, they were planning on doing that. They were going to at New York Comic Con that year. They were going to show episode 1 to the fans, and then and one other thing, they were gonna do that and then be like, it's all online right now.
Yeah.
But they didn't because of some unfortunate real world shooting events that make the Punisher really hard to take in a context. But they were very aware of it. I think the show was very aware of it as well. But I think they're going to try to do that with the Punisher season 2. It's just like, we're telling you it's coming this month, and then it'll just show up on your queue one day.
I would love that. I love it when Netflix does things like that.
As a fan, I love that. As somebody who talks about TV shows and has to plan things and get ready and make like rundowns and all that, please give me some warning.
Nah.
We need heads up, Marvel. Oh, God.
Nah. Let's just ride the wave. A lot of people in the chat are pumped. Zayas B. Lou, I think season 2 is going to be great and gritty. Yeah, like people, hi computer. Yeah, people are excited about it, and I think it's going to be great in January sometime.
Yeah. Well, so stay tuned for that. We'll talk about that show once it does drop. See, like I said, season 1 was a really good, I think it was a really good show. It wasn't my kind of show personally. It's not the kind of thing I chase usually. I actively try to watch. That doesn't mean that it wasn't good. It absolutely was, and that's part of what I love about Marvel comics, and now what they're doing with Marvel on screens, like TV and movies, is like there's a Marvel for everybody.
Yes.
Like you can go to, if you're more comedy inclined like me, you can watch Thor Ragnarok 80 bajillion times and always be laughing. And if you're more of you want something intense and dramatic, you can watch The Punisher. And they're both Marvel, they're both amazing, and they feel completely different.
I love that.
And if you just want to like some kid style laughs, you can go watch Marvel Rising. Which is wonderful. All right. So we're gonna have to wrap it up now. But before we do, Amy, you want to give some people some quick shout outs to our fantastic Merry Marvelites?
Yes, of course. Elmer, with some trees. Emmanuel at Elmer_E_Ortiz. Aaron Blum at AJ Blum. Kristen Deaton at Kristen Deaton. Lewis Cox at Lewis1022. Puminum Boonipat at Guardians213. Katharina. I got this, guys. Katharina Mayer at Mayer Ryder. Xander Mansberger at XMansberger15. Daniel Webb at DR_Web22. Corey N at Corey71215. And Cole Canaletti at Cole_Canaletti.
Yes. Thank you guys so much for listening. And those of you who are listening on iTunes, please go hit us with a rating and a review. It always helps. Like, I love when I see our little like top ranking in the TV film podcast. It just keeps going up and up. I think we were at like 102 this morning. We were at like 39 earlier in the week. I want to see us get all the way up there. And your ratings and subscriptions absolutely do affect that. So go on there. And you know what? I know they say don't feed the trolls, but send me to Muspelheim because I'm gonna feed them right now. I don't know if that's where trolls come from. It was the first one of the 9 realms that came into my brain. There was a review that said that we're not negative enough. We're too positive. I'm like, one, it's because we love Marvel, and I felt the need to shout this. But 2, did you hear me talk about the Inhumans when it came out? I'm never negative. I dare you to go watch that episode.
But here's the thing, too. You can find negativity almost anywhere. You can always come here for some positivity.
Some marvelous love. And I want to say thank you and I love you to our Merry Marvelites. I was trying to transition there and it got a little weird, but I do love you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Amy, thank you so much. This was
thank you.
So much fun today.
Yeah.
I can't wait for Endgame. I literally can't wait. I'm very impatient. But that's going to do it. I have been your host, Zach Wilson. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at @ThatZachWilson. You can also I was hosting the Doctor Who After Show, which just wrapped up on our sister network, AfterBuzz TV. And you can also, if you want to get weird, you can check out my own podcast that I do with my writing partner and producing partner, Greg Goodness, where we take characters from different universes and we ship them together. Like last week when we shipped Thanos and the Grimace with Christian Blatt, and it got weird, as you would expect. Amy, where can people find you?
All right. That sounds like so much fun, though.
It's a blast. It's so ridiculous. But that episode's live now on Ships in the Night.
I love that name, too. Yes, you guys can find me on all social media at Amy Cassandra MTZ. Find me on YouTube as well. Subscribe. I do trailer reaction videos. Those are fun. Okay. Also, guys, you will most definitely want to be in this space on Tuesday, the 18th at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's all I'm going to say. That's it.
That's all you're going to say?
That's all I'm going to say. It's
going to
be really
tease them?
Yeah, I'm going to tease them. You can go to our Twitter, and get more information. But
stop being coy about it, Amy. Get it? All right, guys. This has been the Marvel Movie News. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of its owners or principals.